again. This is a summary of our 6th lesson study in the quarterly, entitled Jesus Mingled with People. Today we're going to be discussing how Jesus mingled with people and where he actually mingled with them and how he actually did it, which is very important for us as Christians to remember. It is not that he takes part in all that they have done. The Bible teaches that he mingled with the tax collectors. He mingled with the very low ends of society, but he also mingled with the very high ends of society and all the colors and shades in between. No matter where he went, no matter which group he mingled with, he remained the same. It is not wise for us to presume that we, therefore, need to identify, but it is not wise for us to presume that we need to become like those groups. We need to maintain our mission, and that's the mission, divine mission that God has sent us to do. We are ambassadors for Christ, and we carry a very specific message. That message cannot be compromised through our actions or through our words. So I want to read 2 verses. The first one is found in the first letter of John, chapter 2, verse 16. John's first letter, chapter 2, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. What we look at and what is pleasing to us in our human eyes, according to the Bible, it appears that it tells us that those are lusts. Those are things that we desperately may want, but those are of the world. They are not of the divine nature. I am not suggesting that we cannot have a house or a car to drive. I am suggesting we need necessities. But those necessities need to complement what we ought to have in Christ. What we ought to have in Christ is the character that we develop. What we ought to have is the message that we carry. And that message is unchanging and uncompromising. In that, I want us to turn now to the book of Romans, chapter 12. The book of Romans, in chapter 12, Paul discusses Christian behavior. In fact, till the end of the chapter, he focuses back on the Christian church as non-Israelites. You see, he approaches the gospel in the first 5 chapters, or the first 4 chapters. He nails in chapter 5, then he expounds on it, and then in chapter 9 through 11, the message is focused on the Judeans, and then from chapter 12 till the end of the book, he goes back and this summarizes what he has told us. And he also gives us instructions on how to be. Now I want to just focus on the first verse of chapter 12. We will not read the entire chapter, just the first verse. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you sacrifice holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. He says, I beseech you. He is pleading. It is not just, I want you to do it. There's an urgency in this. He's beseeching us. He's pleading. He is begging that we do certain things according to the gospel, according to the message, the divine message, the unchanging, the uncompromising one. That we, by the mercies of God, that you present. The word for present in the Greek, it devotes the idea of showing and displaying. What he wants us to do is not just to live in a corner somewhere as a Christian, obeying God's commands. He wants us to display it on the outside. He wants us to go out in the world and shine the light. As Christ has explained in the Sermon on the Mount, we are the light of the world. We are the salt of the world. You cannot possibly put the light underneath a table and let it shine. What you need to do with the light is to put it on top. This is the idea here that he's expressing. He's beseeching us and he wants us to show our behavior. He wants us to shine to the rest of the world. So he says that you present your bodies, that you show, that you display your bodies. Now, not in just any fashion. This is very important. He wants us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice. Now, what is this living sacrifice? I always thought that sacrifices ought to be dead. But for Paul here, we sacrifice every moment of our day. It is my prayer that you sacrifice your wants, your desires, the fleshly as well as the worldly items. We need to put them aside minute by minute, and as we live this life for God, we sacrifice what are our personal and selfish wants. We custom to the side, and we focus on the unchanging and the uncompromising message that Christ has called us to teach. This is my prayer, and this is what Paul is asking us to do. Have a blessed and wonderful day. This is Arthur Kiziak for Luis Perez on the Spanish Channel.